Ah, so we're interested in power lines, aren't we? Nice. Well, if you're interested in power lines, where are you going to go to see more power lines? Power Line Road, of course. Come on, guys. So here we are out on Power Line Road. Now I'll just turn the camera around and show you what we see so far. Well, not surprisingly, on Power Line Road, you see a lot of power lines. You see all these new ones running all the way down here. You also see these power lines running down this way. Now look where we are. We're right where the main railway track crosses Power Line Road. This is up near Oak Hill Drive, and Paris Road is just down that way a little bit, not too far. Now, it's an interesting part of town because you can see that things are changing down here. Oh, excuse me, sir. Now, down this way, we have some industry. We have small industry, and you can see there's sort of that yellow, towery sort of building right there. So there's some industrial production going on down there. It wasn't there before. In most cases, this was farmland a few years ago, and the farmland has slowly changed. There's actually a gravel pit just over there to the left of that yellow tall building. So there's some changes in our community. Now, is that a good thing? Of course it's a good thing. Communities grow and change, and land use sometimes grows and changes as well. So these would have been beautiful farms at one time, and it's a bit sorry, I guess, that they weren't farms. They aren't farms anymore, because a farm is a beautiful place. But a community needs an industrial area, and a community needs gravel pits. So these changes have to happen. But if you're a clever person, what you do is you keep track of those changes. Because sometimes it's easy to lose important things as those changes get made. Now, the other day we were over there by the old tracks that were taken up, and beside the tracks I showed you that there were some power lines. Now, I came here to show you something specifically, and it's this. That there are lots of new power lines along here, but surprisingly, there are also the old ones. Now, isn't this fascinating? Now, I can't go too far off the road. In fact, the road is right here. So this is about as far as I can go. If I went any further, I would be trespassing on rail lands, and it's very dangerous, so I can't do that. But if I zoom in, you can see that there is an old power line. And of course, if you look down the tracks, oh, there's another and another and another. So what we're seeing is the old, excuse me, there, that's safer. The old power lines, just like we saw in the other side of town, are still there. And if I focus in, with my zoom, you can see that on the top of these, the original insulators, just like we found, are pretty much still there. So here's an old bunch of ghosts that stretch way off into the distance. They're still standing for the most part, but as the years go by, of course, they will also come down and find themselves lying on the ground. Now, it's funny, just around the corner, down this way and to the right, there was actually quite a lovely old farmhouse. I remember that farmhouse, and I'll include that farmhouse I took a picture of it. I'll include that farmhouse in a picture that I'll attach to this video. It's an interesting farmhouse because it's no longer there. It's now been knocked down. But I still remember it, and I've got a picture of it. And like I said, it's an interesting thing to keep track of those changes in a community. Right now you're children, but someday when you grow up, you'll look back on your own neighborhood and say, well, I remember in this location was something very different. And if you're a good member of a community, what you do is you try to make sure that the changes that are being made are positive changes. Another thing you try to make sure you do is not stand on a train track for very long, because this train track is still being used. And so I think I should move along now. But I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope you maybe have a chance to come and see on Power Line Road these soon-to-be ghosts.